Welcome back, folks, to Chopping Up. I'm your host, your boy Blunt, and I am joined here with my special guest, Gina G. And we're going to be talking about something that I feel is very, very important, and hopefully, we get a good conversation started from people that watching. And so, without further ado, welcome to the show, Gina.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
All
This is
right,
laughing.
let's just jump right in, shall we? I have a series of 14 questions that I'm going to ask you, and hopefully, we can get through this with no problems.
Let's
Right.
get it.
So
Let's get it. Let's
let's
get it.
jump into it. The first question I got for you is, what motivated you to undergo the surgery?
My kids. My kids were my why. Um, when you're having the surgery, you definitely want to think about your why. And my why was my kids. I was sitting, I was at almost 500 pounds. And I remember sitting there looking at my kids and they were playing. And I remember I couldn't play with them. I couldn't. I could barely walk through Walmart. I had to always use the cart. So when I saw my kids playing, I said to myself, oh my God, my oldest, because they have a 15-year gap, my oldest is going to raise the other one. And that's not fair. At that point, I decided that I was going to go forward with the surgery. And this was my second attempt, because the first attempt, I dropped out. And I went ahead and closed my eyes and went through the process for them, for her, because I wasn't going to make it if I didn't.
So you said your first attempt, you dropped out. What happened there?
I punked out, completely punked out. I was like, I'm not doing this.
Right, right.
What
No,
you mean
I
I was like, what you mean I can't eat a whole pork chop? No, I don't think so.
yeah, I mean, it's important. Some people might be in the very stages right now, deciding whether to go through it or not. And to hear that it wasn't at least your first time trying it could be um very eye opening for them, because you're like,
Yeah.
I'm not alone. I don't feel like I'm the only one that wants to back out. And you backed out, so you like,
I
nope, I'm not
completely, I
doing
was like,
it.
nah. I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm
And
not doing this.
then you seeing your kids playing around was enough motivation to push you over the edge. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's. I mean, like I said, like I was saying earlier, that motivation for you is either.
I mean, putting in perspective that my small child is a special needs child. She's autistic. So,
Yeah.
with her being autistic and having, if I at my demise, obviously the oldest one is going to take care of the smaller one, and I just didn't feel that it was fair to her. You
Right.
know.
I mean, that's more motivation. And I don't. I'm not a religious person, but I always feel like the universe knows exactly what's going on. So you
Yep.
put that autistic child in your care to give you that slight motivation more to go through with
Yep.
saving your own life. Isn't
Yep.
that crazy?
Because the first time I went through the process, Eric, I only had the oldest one. I didn't have the little one. And the oldest one was about 8 years old when I went through the process the first time. It was that moment of them playing and me realizing
Just
that,
watching.
yeah,
You're
and
watching life in front of you, and you're like,
yep,
wait a minute, I might not be around to see the rest of this.
no,
Yeah, I get it.
yeah. And I was at the time, like I said, I was diabetic. I had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, you name it, I had it. you
Wow.
know and I remember during that time I started not feeling, my legs would go numb all the time,
Oh man.
and my hands would go numb all the time, and that was from the high blood pressure and diabetes.
Yeah, you
My
was literally
circulation,
dying right
I was
there.
dying. I was feeling it that I was dying, and I knew that if I didn't do something, I was not gonna be around for the to watch my oldest get married, to guide Mia. I wasn't gonna be able to do that. And when that occurred to me, and I said, I'm gonna go forward, and I did, and that's what happened.
Mm, wow. So, how did you prepare for the surgery? Did you have to follow a special diet or
Oh yeah.
exercise program?
Well, when you go in to when you go in for your consult, right, your first consult, they tell you right up. They're like, listen, you have to do this, and this, right? So one of the things that was very important is to visit a nutritionist, which at the time I was 6 months away from having surgery, right? So I'm learning how to eat again, how to eat with purpose, eating with purpose, and that is important. You eat to nourish yourself, right? And when you're on a diet, you have to eat with the purpose of nourishment. So I had to learn how to eat with purpose. I had to learn how to manage my emotions, because not only is this whole process is very mind messing, it messes with your mind big time. So I had to visit a psychiatrist on a regular basis. I had to work out. I had to lose weight. And you think to yourself, well, wait a minute, I'm having weight loss surgery. Why do I need to work out, right? And why do I need to do that? Well, you need to put to the insurance that you're committed to the process. Because it's not just, yeah, it's not just, I'm gonna stop eating. No, you have to show the insurance that you are committed to the process, that they're going to fork out this dough to get you to have this surgery, because it's very expensive in the US. And when I'm talking about over $100,000 just to have your surgery,
Wow.
you know what I mean? And not even counting the out of pocket. I mean, my out of pocket wasn't as high, thank God, because I worked for Amazon at the time and my insurance was top notch.
Nice.
And they covered it 100%. I think I paid maybe $200 out of pocket on co-pays.
Nice.
So that was a blessing in itself. So
Right.
going, then not only that, you have to work out. You have to demonstrate that you're working out. Every month when you go to the doctor's office, you have to show them that not only you're losing weight, you're eating properly, and that you're getting the proper care. Because again, this is basically training for post-surgery, right? There's a lot that goes into this, and you have to have your mind right. And I cannot stress this enough, because it's something that, even though I was fully prepared for on paper, I really wasn't. I really was not.
It's different, huh?
It does hit different. It hits different because not only, I mean, and you can look this up. This surgery causes havoc in your life and because you now have body dysmorphia. Now you can't see yourself the way everybody else sees you. You don't see yourself that way, right? So not only that, it makes havocs in your friendships, in your family, and in everything else. So it was that preparedness of those 6 months prior to surgery that was essential for me to be able to move forward. And this is something that the people who have their surgery in Mexico don't get.
Surgery in Mexico. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So how was the surgery performed? Was it laparoscopic, open? And how long did it take?
It was laparoscopic. I was the first patient to go in for surgery at 7 a.m. and I was out by 10:30ish, I think. I was drugged.
Right. He was out. Yeah. So I mean, was how long was the recovery after the surgery?
The recovery, I mean, it depends on the person. Me, I am very hyper, and I don't like to sit down. One of the most important things that is essential after surgery, I literally, as soon as they rolled me out of surgery, I was kind of awake, and I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. They're like, no, we're gonna put you. I'm like, no, I'm walking. One of the things that I learned was that during surgery, they put air in you to
when you do the laparoscopy, they put air into you.
They pump into you, right? So you have to make sure that as soon as you can, get it pushing, right? You got to walk to make sure that gas comes out, because the pain from that is insane. The pain from that was insane. So that first step right after surgery was important for me to walk, to be able to walk, to get into movement. I mean, I remember I had gotten out of surgery and I'm already walking the halls, like literally. Like they took me out of recovery.
They love to see that.
Oh,
walk in the halls. They love to see that. Yeah.
And I kept walking and I kept walking and I kept walking. And I remember telling them, I need to take a shower. They're like, oh, that's not going to happen. We're going to stick to walking right now. I'm like, excuse me, I'm Puerto Rican. We need to take a shower. Okay. And she was like, no, Elwoods, go sit your butt down over there. Go sit down somewhere. Because I was at it. I'm like, no, I need to take a shower. And then my sister's like, listen, we'll just wipe you down. I'm like, I don't like this,
How long did you stay in the hospital?
I was overnight. It was an overnight stay. If there's no complications, they let you go the next day. But the first night after surgery, they want to observe you, which is, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm glad they did. I'm so glad they did, because even though nothing happened, thank God, I was able to rest and I was able to do my walks and everything. But unless I voided in the bathroom at least twice, and I did my walk, they weren't gonna let me go. Trust me, I was bleeding, and I was like, but. After that, I want to say that the average is about 2 weeks. Me personally, I went back to work immediately because I work from home. A lot of people can't do that, so they take about 2 to 3 weeks after surgery to recoup. I mean, it is you have to the way you come off of surgery, you have to sit up, you have to sleep a certain way. You're not comfortable, you're not comfortable, you're not comfortable. Then there's a gas pain, and you have to be able to drink and eat, not eat food, but drink water, and you have to be able to ingest because the first few days you're after surgery, you're on clear liquids. So that's another one. So you're on clear liquids, decaf coffee, that's all you can drink. And you have to be able to drink at least 1 bottle of water. Mind you, prior to surgery, I would drink 4 or 5 bottles of water a day, like nothing, right? I'm now fighting to get through 1 bottle of water a day.
Is that because you feel full, or?
Yes, I felt full, and not to mention, you don't have the capacity anymore.
You don't have the capacity, so.
No, they removed. In my case, I had the VSG, which is the vertical sleeve, vertical gastric sleeve is what I had, and they removed 80% of my stomach. So now I can only maybe ingest 2 ounces at a time. So I'm over here sipping like a baby, 2 ounces, 2 ounces, 2 ounces, and I had to try to get through it, and it's not easy. Not when after surgery, you're to have that, no. And then as time goes by, after 2 weeks, you go into soft foods, which is like yogurt, Jello, things that you can eat and consume that are soft, so that they're not, messing up your stomach. I had a friend of mine who had the surgery, and how is it that on the first week she's over here she's like, I just ate a piece of pork chop. I'm like, girl, you're crazy.
All right.
I'm like, you're reckless. You're reckless.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not trying to go there.
I don't think that's taking what you did too seriously.
But she had her surgery in Mexico, which again, when you have it out of the country, you don't have that education that you get before surgery. Versus
that's a risk in itself. Like,
as we all know,
that's a whole nother show. Wait.
And definitely a whole other show. But then after that, you go into harder foods. And right now, I'm 19 months post surgery, and I still have issues eating, and I do. But I think with me now, it's more of a mental game versus what I can eat, because I don't get hungry. I don't know when I'm hungry. I have no idea. I have to actually put an alarm to remind me to eat. Because if not, I don't get hungry anymore, so I don't know. I'm like,
I don't know. That's crazy. Like, when you're hungry, I stay hungry.
I haven't had hunger pains since the surgery.
You know what's crazy? I'm just thinking about it now. Like, my family knows when I don't feel well, because that's the only time I'm not hungry. You're not hungry. They start touching my forehead. You all right?
You good, puppy? No, listen. And again, during this process, I have to cook full meals for my kids. So pre-surgery and post, because my kids are spoiled. They won't eat food. They don't eat out. That's not a thing. It's good, but it isn't, because in a situation like this, that I don't want to cook because I don't want to be exposed to cooking.
Smell it, yeah.
They don't care.
You got that sazon in there.
She's like, mommy, she's like, give me. Don't worry about it. I want some recipes of chicken.
So you throw that the sofrito in there. Oh my God, I'm getting hungry talking about.
That's what my neighbors when I cooked on Sunday, that I cooked in the house. That's when my neighbors realized that I'm Puerto Rican.
They smell the spices.
We can smell that over here, lady.
So what we talking about there? What are the changes that you had to make, that you have made for your diet and your lifestyle since the surgery?
Well,
you said you can't ingest more than, you said 2 ounces?
2 ounces.
2 ounces of food. Like, 2 ounces. I can't even imagine that. Like,
keeping in mind that you no longer have the stomach capacity, right? So you can only ingest about 2 ounces of food at a time. You're supposed to be able to eat 4. I cannot. And I cannot eat 4 ounces of food in one sitting. That's not even gonna happen. It is when it comes to your diet, you have to kind of turn more towards protein-enriched foods, because you need protein. Your body no longer produces protein on its own, because that major part that produced that protein
is gone.
It's gone. So it was finding my way of not being scared to eat, because you're going through this process like a newborn, right? So you're starting on liquids, soft foods, and regular food, like a baby. So it was incredibly weird for me to reintroduce myself to my culture food, which is where I started to learn how to cook Boricua and bariatric. So
Oh, there's a
that's
difference, yeah.
it's a huge difference, because remember, Puerto Ricans, we tend to eat foods that are extremely starchy. We tend to eat foods that are extremely fattening, fried, all that stuff. So I had to learn how to redesign how I cooked. Um, for example, alcapurrias. I'm sure you know what that is.
No, not
Alcapurrias.
really.
They're not. Alcapurrias is a fritter that is made out of plantain dough, and it's filled with meat on the inside. It's delicious,
Right.
right?
Okay.
But it's deep fried. So you can't just eat deep fried food anymore, because you don't. Not only do you not have the rest of your stomach, but your gallbladder, if they didn't remove it, has to work overtime, right? So you're gonna feel sick as hell. So I had to learn how to make deep fried foods in the air fryer. I had to learn how to make deep fried foods in a different way where I can still enjoy it and not make me sick. So it's a process.
Well, it's actually a good thing though, because
Yeah, it is.
air frying is way better than regular frying.
I love the air fryer.
I
It's my
tell
best
I,
friend.
I tell people that I live by my air fryer. Like I
Look at
barely
that.
use my stove. Everything's air fried.
I even air fry French fries for my kids. French
That's
fries
one of
and
the
nuggets, air
French
fryer.
fries, grilled cheese and air fryer. Oh,
Oh heck yeah!
y'all don't know what y'all missing.
No, they're missing out. They're missing out.
So how did you? Okay, so let's see. So you adjusted your eating habits to that 2 ounces. So
Mhm.
what foods can you eat and what foods you have to avoid?
I try to stay away. I mean, I at this point I can eat whatever I want, right? So that's not
Okay.
really I can eat whatever I want. However, you kind of have to go with how your body takes it. So one of the things that I even though I do still eat a little bit is pork. Pork is something that I cannot assimilate. I just can't. Like I eat it because I want to, not because I can. It doesn't. It just wreaks havoc. It wreaks havoc, and 9 times out of 10, I will throw up.
Really?
So I try not to overdo it. Like I'll have a little chunk here, and I'm like, all right, good, we're good. Let's say no more. And to say that to my mother is interesting. Mom, I
Mm.
can't eat. I can't eat all that. I just need a little bit. And my mom is looking at me like, no.
Yeah, you know how our
Yeah,
moms do. You got to clean that plate.
you better clean that
So
plate. Yeah, no, my mom with me, she still has trouble understanding. And again, with the surgery, not everybody can understand it because it's not something that is spoken to about. What That's why when you approached me about doing this interview, I was like, absolutely, because it's
yeah,
not something that is talked about often. And whatever is talked about, people look at you, they're like, oh yeah, you lost all that weight, you went the easy way out. No, this is a process. This is the hard part. Maintaining it.
yeah, they don't understand what. Like even I was ignorant to what the process was to going through it. I mean, you see some of the TV shows with my big fat girlfriend. What I don't know,
Oh my
I'm
god, I
probably saying it
can't.
wrong, but and you just look at it for the face value. You don't really look into it. I was looking into this because I have another friend also who I adore really much. Like she went through the surgery too, and I'm like, let me let me really look into this. And it's
Mm-hmm.
a lot. It's a lot going into this. So what do you? How do you deal with that? You still have cravings? Like, do you still have cravings?
I do have cravings, and there's times that I indulge. I do get the cravings though. Like there's times that I'm like, damn, I want a piece of brownie because I can't eat a whole brownie, so that's not gonna happen. So I'm just gonna have a but it's about being able to go through, say, okay, I'm craving this brownie, and it's the ability to just eat a little bit, right? Because you want to kill that craving. Um, and then I start thinking, well, if I can do this now, why didn't I do this before I had the surgery, right? Like
Right. Right.
now when I have the cravings, I will indulge it, but I'll just find a way to make it where if I'm making the brownie or if I'm making this or making that I make it in a way where I know that I can assimilate it. And which is why I'm working on a bariatric Boricua cookbook. So
Nice. Nice. You
that
got to make sure Let me know when that's done so I can put the link here.
Yes, absolutely. That's actually going to be. I should be done with it by the summer. Because
Nice.
it's also a book where I talk about my anecdotes as a mother that is autistic and Boricua going through the surgery, plus how I catered the foods that they like to eat in a way that I can eat it too. So it's been it's not daunting. I love it because I keep thinking about the stuff that I say to my kids or teaching them. You know what I mean? But it's I'm excited about it because
Nice.
it's something that is needed, but it's something that is needed as a Latina. It having this surgery and our relationship with food. Being Hispanic is everything. That's our love language. Like, oh, I love you. Here's food.
Here's a plate of food,
Here's a
exactly.
plate of food. Oh, you're sad. Here's a plate of food. You're mad. Here's a plate of food. You know,
Most of us men got married to Latino women just because of their cooking.
how well, at least two of my husbands, at least two of them.
Well, how much weight did you lose?
So my starting the day of surgery, because you do have to lose a little bit of weight before the day of surgery. I was 316 pounds. I currently weigh 117 pounds and 4 ounces.
100 and what?
17
117 pounds
and 4 ounces. Don't
from
forget the four.
three. And how quickly did you lose that?
Up because I stood on the scale today. It's been 19 months. But the first bulk, I want to say, was at 7 months. I had lost already 140 pounds.
Wow, that's a big change. So, what do you feel about? Let me just say, I'm trying to. This is not an easy question to ask, but it's here. Is how do you feel about? And this is actually a very important question. So, is how do you feel about your body image and self-esteem now?
My self-esteem through the roof, right? But let's talk about it because that's interesting. When you're going through this process, and this is why we have a lot of issues in relationships and in general, right? After we have this surgery and we lose the first bulk of weight, you couldn't tell me nothing. You couldn't tell me not a thing. I'm gonna walk out the streets in a sports bra and pants, and you're lucky I'm wearing pants. Okay, you're lucky I'm wearing pants. And let me tell you, your self esteem is through the roof. But at the end of the day, when you look at yourself in the mirror and you start seeing the excessive skin, you start seeing you your brain is hayward. So now I'm looking at myself like a monster, right? But still, I feel good. So it's conflicting.
It's a
There's
push
moments,
pull. Yeah.
yeah, when it comes, you start messing with your head. Like right now, I mean, you see my content. I'm ridiculous. I'm
You're funny.
I'm surprised I haven't been banned from TikTok yet.
Well,
Um,
I got banned already a couple of times. So.
don't get this twisted. After tonight's video drop, I'm pretty sure I might get a warning because that's what I'm pushing the envelope on that one. And but your self esteem is through the roof. You can't. I mean, the fact that I can walk. I can walk. Let me tell you the most important thing for me, and that's when I realized the difference and the impact that I made in my life. Last summer, on August 16th, my birthday was on the 13th. Me and my comadre, we decided that we're gonna go to New York for my birthday. And the fact that I could walk without a sweat, without even thinking, being without being like that was everything to me. I walked all over Little Italy. I walked all over, Chinatown. I walked everywhere. And at the end of the day, when I'm sitting because it was a 1 day trip, I'm sitting at the airport like this, and I couldn't believe. And I look at my cell phone and where it has the step counter, and I had walked over 8,000 feet, those steps. To me, that was
Nice.
huge. That was
That
huge
is
to me.
huge. That's huge.
That was like, oh my God, I don't remember the last time I was able to do that. You know what I mean? And I was just like, wow. And that's when I realized, oh my God, I can do stuff. I went off the rails after that.
I can I can I can only imagine. I'm right now. I'm the opposite. I used to walk everywhere, and I can't barely walk now. So it's just
I
my
mean,
mind. My
I know it
challenges
was.
is rough.
I couldn't walk. I couldn't walk before. Before I had the surgery, before I lost the weight, I could not do it. I had to take the little cart at Walmart. I didn't even want to be seen in public. I wouldn't go to my kids' functions at school
Mm,
because I didn't want them to make fun of them and say, "Oh my God, your mom is a fat lady." You know,
well, yeah.
you know how cruel kids are. I didn't want that for my kids. I missed so much from my oldest kid because I was so heavy. I didn't want to embarrass her. You know what I mean? And it takes a toll on you, you know?
Mm.
Because you miss, I don't know how many choir recitals I missed because I didn't want to be seen in public. I didn't want to embarrass her. And all she wanted was mommy to be there.
Yeah, that's all you want as a kid is your parents to see you in those situations like that.
Oh,
So yeah, you and then you're sacrificing too because you want to be there, but you
yep,
just can't. It's like you can't put yourself through it.
you can't do it.
So what are the challenges that you faced since the surgery?
Dating.
Oh, really?
Yes.
How so?
Well, I mean, I think that every other challenge that has come across with with eating and everything else, those are small hurdles, right? Because you're learning as you go. But I think that the biggest problem is the way you are perceived. Dating in general, because now you're being looked at in a different way. Now you're sexy. Now you're pretty. Now you're this. Now you're that. Now wherever you walk in, you turn heads, right? Which yeah, I've always turned heads on. Hello.
Okay, okay, Gina.
but now it's double time. Now the people that are coming after you is not regular Joe. No, you've got the Jason Momoa lookalikes coming after you, right? And you don't know what to do with that. You
Mhm.
don't. You're not used to that. You're not used to all of this attention. I normally would get attention before because yeah, I was pretty, but I was very. I've always been funny, and I always want to laugh, So and 9 times out of 10, I was making fun of myself. So it's just a huge change in the way you are being perceived and how you want to be perceived, right? I do want to be seen as a very sexy Gen Xer, of course I do, but sometimes that attention is not good, And for example, in my previous relationship that just ended, that was rough. I mean, when he would tell me, "Pretty is a problem. You being pretty is a problem. We need to fix that."
You know, I was gonna say that some people, um, when they make this transformation from one thing to another, and they find themselves from being undesirable to desirable, they don't know how to cope with that, and they become this monster.
Yeah,
All of a
yeah.
sudden, it's like
You have
you
to work with
become
that.
you become even uglier than you were before. But you're not.
Facts.
You may be pretty, but men pick up on that ugliness quick, and
Exactly.
they run for the hills. The only people that mess with you at that point, they just want to get laid.
Yep.
They don't want anything else after that.
Yep.
But as far as anything tangible, it's not gonna happen.
And I'll tell you what, Eric, I made it a conscientious point to be. I've always been a little bit. I've always been very selective when it came to dating, but now we're even because you don't know why they're coming at you. And in my case, 9 times out of 10, they want to date Boricua mommy. They don't want to date Gina. They want Boricua mommy, not Gina. Right? So even though my personality and my character on TikTok is very similar to who I am, it's not. I don't walk around here in a sports bra in the streets. Like that's not what I do. And so it's discerning the personality of who you truly are versus what is the perception of the other person. So she's promiscuous. No, I'm not. Oh, this and that or whatever. No, it's very hard to now you have to beat the odds with showing that you are still a person of substance, that you are still intelligent, that you're not just pretty, that you're not, now you have this banging in your heart. And no, it's not about that. At the end of the day, am I healthy? Am I going to be here for my kids? And can I still grind and work and make sure that my kids are all right?
Right. So, what are the benefits of having the surgery?
I would do it again. Let me tell you this. From the date of surgery, I am no longer diabetic. I have not had not one shot of insulin since the day I had the surgery. My high blood pressure gone. You know, the benefits health wise, I can work out. I can make it through a home workout. Now I crave it. Like I want to go to the gym. You know, although they've asked me not to come back for a hot minute because I'm underweight. But
let me find out. But you can you drink like Insure to put some of that back on?
Yeah, I've been trying that. That's not working.
It's not working out either.
Nah, no, not at all. But again, I'm very active too. So, I get up at 5 a.m. I'm up. Let's go. I have coffee in hand and I'm running everywhere.
5 a.m. I'm just going to sleep.
I get up at 5 a.m. go to bed around 11, and it's my me time. It's my time for me to meditate, to really come together with myself, and to really figure out how my day's gonna go. And it's a blessing. It's a blessing, and that's why anybody who's asking, would you do this again? I'm like, absolutely, if I had to. I don't want to, but but if I had to do it again, I definitely will. And a lot of people go through revisions. A lot of people at my stage have started gaining the weight back. I haven't had that issue, thank God, but it's because I'm very strict and I'm very careful with what I eat. I am extremely careful with what I eat. I'm extremely careful, how I'm going about through life. So knowing the repercussions of the action that you can gain the weight back, that is possible.
Right.
Nah.
You go through all that for nothing.
Nah, I'm not about that life.
Do you know?
I don't make the same mistake twice. I make different ones, but not the same one.
Do you know what the challenges and complications can be from the surgery?
Absolutely. Complications is your esophagus can close out.
Ooh, well, that's not good.
That happens, and actually, I have a follower on TikTok that happened to. That she actually commented. A lot of the videos that I do about bariatric surgery, about my surgery, about my experience, which I normally do on the 3rd of every month, kind of update of anniversary that I had my surgery. And I'll tell you what, I've seen some complications. You have incision complications. You have eating complications. Will you be able to eat again? Will you not be able to eat again? What can you eat again? Is this going to complicate? If you have any other issues, like for example, I have sickle cell anemia. So that can complicate things because now you're not receiving the same nutrients as before. You're not eating food like before. So you have to you have to constantly take vitamins. I take about 12 vitamins a day. That's for life because my body doesn't produce it, right? You lose your hair. A lot of people lose their hair. And I'm no exception to that. I'm wearing extensions, but my hair, let me tell you something. I lost a lot of hair.
And that's got to be really hard for you to lose your hair.
Absolutely. You know how we Latinas are. We need to get our hair.
We need to get our hair. Especially Latinas, like your hair is almost everything for you.
Listen, I brush my hair 14 times a day. These are extensions. Can you imagine? But listen, you don't even know. So imagine. Not only, and then you are looking at yourself. So you have the skin, the droopy skin. The skin is, you've lost all this weight, but you have all this hanging skin now. So now you have mental problems, mental complications, because now you're messed up, right? And a lot of people who have lost the weight like I have, now are wearing baggy clothes because they're trying to hide themselves. Right. Not me. I don't have that problem, of course.
Isn't there like another surgery you can have to have that repair, like removed? That's like another whole.
That's plastic surgery. So now my next process is to have what's called the mommy makeover, which they will remove the excess skin, the tummy tuck, breast lift.
Oh boy, there goes Gina again.
No, Eric, I don't know, man. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if this is me now. Can you
exactly?
After that, I'm gonna walk around with pasties and pasties. That's it. That's it. We don't have nothing else. And you can't tell me nothing. Don't tell me to put clothes on. I don't care if it's clothes.
What's that?
What is that? No. You tell me
so
nothing.
how do you maintain your weight now?
Now, again, I'm watching my diet. I watch what I eat. I work out. now since they have banned me from the gym for a little bit since I'm underweight, I will take a walk. But I will stay active. It's important to stay active. So staying active, staying in the new, being careful with what you eat, because this is a thing for life. This is why it's so important that you do see a nutritionist. It's so important that you do see, your therapist. I still see a therapist because my head gets messed up. You can fall into depression. You've got to, because you don't know who's coming at you with sincere intentions. You don't know. I dated a
Right.
man for a whole year, and this man, this was crazy. He did not have good intentions with me, and I didn't see that. But you're so messed up in the head, but you're feeling yourself, but you're messed up. It's complicated, but it's all doable. If you remember why you had the surgery, when you circle back to why you had this surgery, you kind of fall back into place.
Right. For
And
you, it was your kid, so it really him is just extra piece, but it's not relevant to what your
you're
plan
right,
is. So
exactly.
yeah. So let me ask you this. It's funny because the next question is how did the surgery change your relationships?
I got divorced.
Okay,
In
that
fact,
wasn't what I was thinking at all. Like
it's,
no,
it's,
it
it's
really what happened with that? How did that happen?
anything that was going wrong prior to surgery is full in your face after.
So do you think that your divorce was a product of your
I
breakdown of
No, I think it just showcased it more. So, like I said before, we had issues. So we had a couple issues, and then I kept saying to him, "Hey, we're not working out, we're not gelling, we're not flowing. What's going on?" And he didn't listen. Right now, mind you, me and him are best friends to this day. We're homies. We're roommates, as a matter of fact. You know what I mean? Because of our artistic daughter, we have to co-parent. We have to be able to work together. He was homeless for a minute. I found out. I said, "Listen, you can come stay here. I have 4 bedrooms. Come and stay with me. It's okay." You know what I mean? We don't have a physical relationship. We had stopped having a physical relationship 2 years prior to surgery. So all those problems that we were having before, now it's in my face because I know I can do better now. Right? I know I
So
can get it.
lessons learned, right?
Me and my ex, both of them,
Both of them.
we're both homies. We're all homies.
What's going on here? What show did we just jump into, y'all? She said me and both of my exes. Murray, where you at? Okay, we got 40 minutes in. Wow. Let me ask this last one, and then I'm gonna let you get back to your lifestyle here, Miss Gina. is what This is a good one. What advice would you give someone that's considering getting the surgery?
That is a good one. I highly suggest research. Research. Get in the know with people who've had the surgery. Not, even though your experience may not be the same as theirs, it's a good ear to have, and that was something that I did not have.
Right.
Join groups, join community groups, talk about it. Find out what your why is. Because if you're just having your surgery because you think it's the easy way out to lose weight, then don't do it. Because you're gonna fail. Because this is a tool. This is a tool. This is not a save. It's a tool that you have been given so you can get to where you need to be. But you have to work it. You have to work out. You have to eat properly. You have to do all these things. You have to get mental checks. Get support. You need support. Trust me when I tell you, because when you go through this process, your relationships will suffer. You will have friends that were your friends before that will no longer be friends with you. You'll have haters that you never even knew you had. You know, you have family members, because this is not just friends, it's family members. It's not just romantic relationships, it's everything. Make sure that you have the right foundation, because going through this process is not an easy process. It's not a go-to. It's not a fix all. It isn't. I've met people who've gained weight and they're double than what they were prior to surgery.
Oh, wow.
That terrifies me. So it's important that you find your community, that you grow your community, that you learn, and that you research. So if anything, research, And also, don't eat a pork chop a week after surgery. That hurts.
Okay. And so we're gonna end it right there, folks. Now, Gina, thank you so much for doing this interview. I really, really, I really hope that this. I mean, I want it to go viral. I don't expect it to go viral, but I just want at least a lot of people to see it. It's just, I feel it's just so important, and I
Absolutely.
appreciate you. Uh,
Thank you.
I would give you any last words you want to say to anybody. Make sure you tell them where they can find you. Also,
Absolutely. First of all, I want to thank you, Eric, because I definitely always want to have a platform and will always speak on what it is what is to go through this process and more. And so I want to thank you for this opportunity. You can find me on TikTok, Boricua Mommy 75. Don't judge me. I actually you can actually see my whole process on my profile. On the top, there's a tab where the tab it says my VSG journey, and you will see it from the moment of surgery till today. So definitely, you can see my experience, and if you have any questions, you can always reach out. Anybody, if you are interested in having this surgery and you have questions, I may not always answer quickly. This is probably why I don't have a boyfriend again, because I don't answer back. Like I've been talking to you, and there's somebody that I'm talking to, and he's eyeing me. I don't know, and I'll probably forget. I'll probably forget and not even answer that. There's that.
oh my god!
But yeah, find me on TikTok, Boricua Mommy 75. Currently on a show called Lucy and Rosa Show. I don't know if you saw that. I am Tuti. It's a brand new TikTok series, which is a new thing that TikTok is starting. Is having kind of like these little sitcoms on TikTok, and I'm right on it.
Nice. Okay, folks, thank you very much. Thank you, Gina. Thank you
You.
guys for watching, and we see you again next week. Deuces.